as a severe thunderstorm wreaked havoc in Bridgeton, Maine. A massive tree crashed into the lakeside home of artist David, his wife Stephanie, and their 8-year-old son Billy. The morning after, as they assessed the damage, an ominous mist rolled in from the lake. Concerned for their safety, David and Billy, accompanied by their neighbor Brent, set out for town to gather supplies. During their journey, the trio encountered an unusual sight: a convoy of military vehicles speeding in the opposite direction. The soldiers seemed urgent and focused, leaving David, Billy, and Brent puzzled about the events unfolding around them. Little did they know that the storm was just the beginning, and the mysterious mist hinted at unforeseen challenges awaiting them in the town and beyond. After reaching the supermarket, a sudden power outage adds to the creepy atmosphere. From the store's interior, they witness police cars racing down the street. The tension escalates when a terrified locale, Dan Miller, bursts into the store, warning of an imminent danger lurking in the mist. As a civil alert siren blares, store managers Ollie and Bud seal off the supermarket, trapping everyone inside just as the mist begins to envelop the area. As the people huddle in the store, a powerful earthquake rattles their nerves. Amidst the chaos, a woman pleads to leave, desperate to reunite with her kids waiting at home. Despite the pleas of others, she bravely insists on venturing outside. The group is left in suspense, unsure of the peril that awaits the courageous woman as she steps into the mist, driven by a mother's determination to reach her waiting children. After a while, David, seeking a solution to the power outage, heads to the loading dock to inspect the generator. Startled, he senses something pushing against the door. When the store staff investigates, David warns them of the ominous presence outside in the mist. But his caution is dismissed, and he's labeled a lunatic. As Bagger Norm ventures out to fix the emergency generator, a tentacled creature seizes him, dragging him into the mist. In response, David and Ollie direct customers to barricade the storefront windows. Amidst the growing tension, Mrs. Carmody, a religious fanatic, preaches about an impending Armageddon, claiming the end times have come in the form of the mist. She insists on a sacrificial offering, declaring that God demands retribution and blood. Meanwhile, Brent, dismissing the dangers, leaves the store with a small group in a quest for help. However, they vanish without a trace. Another man attempts to retrieve a shotgun from his truck, tying a rope around his waist for safety. But an unseen force claims him, pulling him back with only half of his body intact. David and his group, witnessing the horrors unfolding outside, grapple with the realization that the mist conceals deadly and otherworldly dangers beyond their comprehension. In the store, David forms bonds with Amanda and Irene, teachers who clash with Mrs. Carmody's religious interpretations of the unfolding disaster. Amanda, armed with a revolver, entrusts it to Ollie, a former shooting champion. As night descends, colossal flying insects, lured by the lights, swarm the store windows, becoming prey to pterodactyl-like creatures. Chaos ensues when one of these predators shatters a window, allowing both species to infiltrate. In the ensuing panic, 2 individuals meet their demise, while another suffers fatal burns, attempting to incinerate the insects. Intriguingly, Carmody escapes harm from the insects, reinforcing her belief in divine intervention. Empowered, she intensifies her proselytizing, gathering followers among the survivors, even as the peril within the mist takes a more monstrous turn. In the aftermath of casualties, David leads a small group to a neighboring pharmacy in search of medical supplies. Inside, they face a harrowing attack by giant spiders armed with acidic webbing, resulting in the death of 2 men. Forced to retreat to the store, Carmody seizes the opportunity to expand her influence, promising protection from divine wrath to new converts. The following day, 2 soldiers from the local military base commit suicide, revealing a dark government project that accidentally opened a doorway to the creature's habitat. Jessup, a surviving soldier, discloses this information. Angered by the revelation, one of Carmody's followers violently attacks Jessup, prompting Carmody to offer him as a sacrifice and expel him from the supermarket. Outside, Jessup is immediately devoured by a giant praying mantis-like creature, a grim reminder of the lurking horrors unleashed by the government experiment. As the mist continues to conceal monstrous threats, the survivors grapple with the realization that the true danger may not only be outside, but within their ranks as well. Fearing the growing influence of Mrs. Carmody, who seeks human sacrifices to appease the monsters, David and his group decide to leave the store the next morning. However, Carmody, backed by her followers wielding weapons, confronts them, declaring it against God's will. She demands that Billy and Amanda be the next sacrifices. As the crowd closes in, Ollie takes decisive action, shooting and killing Carmody. Her followers snap out of their trance, allowing David's group to escape. Tragedy strikes in the parking lot as Ollie is devoured by a praying mantis-like creature, and Myron and Ambrose fall victim to the spider creatures from the pharmacy. Bud retreats to the store and allowed back inside. David, Billy, Dan, Amanda, and Irene manage to reach David's car and drive away. Driving through the mist, David discovers his home destroyed and his wife Stephanie dead. Overwhelmed by grief, he continues out of town, encountering colossal 6-legged beasts along the way. Eventually running out of gas and with no hope of escape, the survivors, including David and his son Billy, decide to end their lives. In a tragic turn, David, grappling with despair, shoots Billy and the remaining survivors with his last 4 bullets, intending to spare them from the impending horrors outside. As he steps out of the car, ready to face the creatures, the mist suddenly dissipates, unveiling a U.S. Army armored column arriving to exterminate the creatures and restore order. David, shattered and devastated, realizes that rescue was just moments away. The Army has saved survivors, including the woman who left to reunite with her children. The weight of the devastating mistake hits David as he drops to his knees, wailing in anguish, recognizing that he had killed his son and fellow survivors on the brink of salvation. The mist, which once concealed unimaginable horrors, now reveals the profound tragedy of a desperate act in the face of an unexpected and redemptive rescue.